son of District Number 5 in Bong. I was born in Sergeant Colley Town. Actually grew up between SKT, Phoebe. I spent a lot of time in Phoebe too. And then the Swakoko area. So District Number 5 as a whole actually ran around there, coming out as a young man, working with some of the organizations that work with after high school, even after university. I come from a humble background. My mother is very humble. She comes from a humble family, a farmer, man work with him. My father used to work for Phoebe. At some point, he went to Kari. So all of them contributed to that community where it is today. And coming up, I had a passion for radio. So we started a radio thing in SKT called Super FM, with Ruby Morris working on something. So there where my passion grew for radio when I listened to Smith Toby, the later Armstrong Jala, some Isaac Ray, he was one of my role models. Okay. And then as well as Patrick Oka. So those big brothers actually helped me. Coming up, after school, I had gone to working with different institutions in Bond County, including Covington, where I served as a lecturer. I taught at Covington University in the Department of Business College,
Okay.
And I also worked in senior management for almost 10 years, and then I've had experience with different NGOs, CRS, the NGO sector, then move on to Kari, where I served as the head for planning, monitoring, evaluation, and then a director at the Ministry of Agriculture. And then I worked with IFA, where I was when the president asked that I move to the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, where I served as the Assistant Minister for Economic Policy, Macroeconomic and Financial Sector Policy. So I was working, looking at all of the economic issues, evaluating, and if I propose a new policy for the government as well as, the financial sector, working with the central bank, that actually placed me in a position where all of the sectors in the government, we had some different works doing with them. So there I was until I decided that, to serve this, our people, and to make this country better, you need the best minds at the legislature. I see the challenges from the executive. You can put all the good people in the executive. If the legislature is not the best, if you don't have the cream, they like cream. You don't have the best minds, people who are not just innovative, they're thinking, not just like people, but they have an understanding of the different sectors that are going to serve as members of those committees, chairs of those committees, and so forth. Other than that, it's going to be difficult for this country. There is no country that developed like Great America, Ghana. Their legislature actually are the one who designed the government policies, because the national budget is a clear picture of where the country is moving. So the different programs in there, you need to have people who will critique them, you need to have people who advise the government as to what to do, and then to put the best in there, So that's why we decided that the right place to actually serve our people will be in the legislature.
Now, you tried in 2017, you didn't succeed. What you didn't do right that you think you can do now?
So I was the youngest amongst the 13 candidates that participated in the last election. But I should say to you, I really, really did my best. I came over, I was running I can say independent as a young man coming up, no big name then. I have a few of my young brothers and sisters who decided we came together. So of that number, if you see the votes were among the first full persons who participated in the election. And that I credit it to myself and them. And I had a lot of challenges by then. The incumbent saw me as a very strong competitor. So there are a lot of resources used into my strongholds in the last 3 months of the elections. So that turned a lot of way, for me. Okay, and so that I saw as a very...
You didn't have the financial capacity as compared to your contender.
Yes, that was a serious, because he was a sitting representative. So if you see, he had a lot to do into my voter base, the base that I had. So that took away a lot from me. And yeah, so
You don't think that again.
no, absolutely. I'm a front runner right now in the election, district number 5. Okay. There's no joke about it. The New South is a household name because from my beginning, I've been impacting the lives of people. I've been impacting the lives of young people up to this point. So I have been, a leader at age 15. I became leader for my small group. 16, I was leader for my family. Okay.
So you hopeful of winning?
No, I'm gonna win. That's just hopeful.
You're not hopeful.
Yeah, God, just one. I'm over optimistic. This election, our people are resolved.
How many persons are you running?
23. 23 persons.
And you think that you are optimistic?
I'm the favorite. I have both private sector and public sector experience. I just told you that I was a director at the Ministry of Agriculture. I was a head of planning, monetary evaluation at CARI. I worked on IFA project, that's $83 million cocoa and project in both Bong and not Bong, but Nimba and Lofa counties. I was on that project as a knowledge management consultant there. And when the president asked me, my experience with different groups, so I put all together, setting up the Ministry of Finance. Let me say this to you. What our district needs now, where Cottington sits, where Carey sits, where Phoebe sits, it needs somebody with a better understanding. When they come on the national discussion table, they are able to take the plight, the issues in that district, whether it is agriculture, as I will go into my platform, right? We shall take as very key. That's the agriculture community. But what's happening there right now? Absolutely nothing. Our people are still living on subsistence farming. They plant the rice, and the rice may not even be maybe 10, 20 hectares, and it doesn't even go 3-4 months. They begin to buy rice. They are living in poverty. What I want to do,
we'll talk about what you want to do. But let me ask you. You indicated that in 2017 you didn't have the financial capacity. In fact, your contender used a lot of money to put you out of the race. In fact, what's your worth now?
Well, I don't have say huge chunk of money sitting somewhere, no, but I say what really took me out for the last 3 months. For example, the place I come from is an educational community. My district has the highest number of high schools other than Banga City in Bong County. So you have more people graduating from high schools in Bong outside of Banga than any other district. So that means the demands for education is very high. At this point, I have so many young people going to school at my expense. That is something that I didn't do in 2017.
When you say so many young people, how many?
So currently, for example, Stockholm Central High School, I have almost around 79 persons there. 79 persons.
On your scholarship?
That I pay their fees. Left the university. I have go to school there. Some of them have graduated. Okay, I have some benefits at Cottington. I put all of that for people to go to school.
So you seem to have a lot of resources. What's your worth? I'm asking what's your worth now? Do you want $500,000 or $1 million?
I don't have physical money sitting somewhere. But let me tell you something. Somewhere I have worked as a young man. I was very young and I became productive. Okay, I started a radio station when I was 22 years old. Super Bongis. Today is a big platform. Right now we have the Voice of Mataway. There's 2 radio stations in that country. I have my own farm, right? That cultivated around 140 acres. Around 120 is actually planted with rubber. Okay, so I have actually done stuff for myself. Okay, from birth, So
you are well seated.
Yeah, I'm not a rich man. I'm happy. No, but the fact that you can eat more than $2 a day, right? You're not poor, and that's what people don't understand. You're not rich, but you're middle class. I'm a middle class. I'm not rich man. No, absolutely.
But why are you telling them to tell us why you work?
No, I don't have any. My work, when you look at my experience and you put all of that together, I've not had a monetary value. But I can say to you that
because people don't want poor men in the House of in the legislature. They don't want the poor men.
No, I don't.
So you could tell them that look, I worth $50 million. So you can vote me in.
That's not what our people want. Our people want people who are experienced. Our people want people who understand their situation. Our people want people who will actually advocate for them. Our people want people who actually go and take care of some of their needs. It doesn't have to come from your pocket, but you use national resources using the different ministries and agencies. That whether it's issue of women, people who are vulnerable, how can the ministry agenda come to pay attention to vulnerable women in our district? You talk about education. How can you use the ministry of education to improve some of the schools? For example,
so apart from your hand mark in the education of some young people in the district, what again can the people in the district remember you for or give you the credit for?
I have a lot of support to schools, not only like actually sponsoring people in Waratongbia, where in Agaye, where we have almost around 100 students now in different schools. I was just in first Kika public school, that's in Tongbia Clear. I have 40 students there, and now we have some students now in Agaye and so forth. So besides that, I've also supported some schools that have had some challenges. For example, Swako Central High School, where I attended because I went most parts of most of the years in school. I actually went to public schools, Margaret Kennedy, Swako Central High, even though I graduated from Phoebe Lutheran School. That school, the roof actually, the very heavy storm de-roofed, the entire senior high section. I went there, we put all the wood back, brought Zen, and today's students are there actually going to school.
So your focus has been in Swakoko. Your focus has been on
not only Swakoko. It's a district called District Number 5. The two claims.
Okay, so District Number 5.
Two claims.
Your focus has been on education.
Yeah, district education. That's one. Not only that, in the small communities. Currently, I have around 18 projects. 18 projects going on across the district.
What are those projects?
Those projects, some of them are community halls. For example, you have bigger towns
that you are constructing from your pocket.
Yeah, they have been constructed. My farm sometimes give me.
Give you some money.
Sell my rubber.
So you're lucky that you want some $2 million.
No, my wife guys. You don't know. I'm not a rich man, no, but I'm seeing the little I earn. I've always tried to help people, and I think that's very important. It's not about how much you give the person, but how important is our assistance you give them. That's why our people count, right? Okay. So those projects, a lot of them have been dedicated now. For example, Taylor Town, we're going to be dedicating Taylor Town on Friday. We're going to be delegating Gulasiasu, Gulistown, we do Thomas's Farm. There's a huge one in SKT. There are work going on in Finituli. There's another one going in Vobla. We have Bana. We have Nyamu. There's work going on there. We have Kuriala. Work is going on there. And as far as Borosai, we got a project that's catering to that, so these projects are spread across. Some of them are community hall because our people just want to have a place to sit. Okay, so they feel so bad. They don't have the financial capacity, and so that's why we are using our experience from the different government ministries and agencies. And I said to you, things that we want to do, and you said we'll come there.
Yeah, we'll come there.
Yeah, so those are some of the projects that we are doing.
That's good.
That are benefiting our people. We are helping churches. Okay, some of the churches, they need just roofing, they need something to do their float and so forth. We are helping. Okay, like I mentioned to you, some of the schools we have challenges. We do. Some people come with individual, but my problem, I have been looking at intervention that will be collective. Everybody will see themselves attached to that.
What's some of the market women you got in a loan program for them?
So what we have done, no, absolutely, we intend as we move forward to build in some communities. For example, Taylor Town, we told them that upon our election, because let me say this to you, all we do now is just assistance. When you do the legislative work, it's when you are seated there.
Okay.
But sometimes you go, your people ask you and so forth. So that's not going to be more of my function. But those are existence you go and the people need, you have to intervene. You cannot go and see market women sitting somewhere and wind is falling on them and so forth, and you cannot intervene. So there are a couple of market
that you make some interventions.
Market structures that will ensure that we actually construct across the district
when we are
elected. Okay, so those conversations have been held. We're going to ensure that our clear headquarters.
So what the market women will be eating before you get election?
Yeah, so market women, no, that's what I said to you. There are people who are going to there and say, we'll come and get your loan. The loan never goes. We'll come and get your, the never goes. We've had intervention with people who are involved with businesses.
Okay.
But I say to you that when you have these programs for our communities, right, you need to be strategic and fair with them. If you carry, say, 1 million LD in district number 5, we're going to empower 1 million women. That's more money.
Okay.
And you give it to one community, the other people say, hey, you give us you know how many markets they got there? They are huge markets. So if you took $1 million, you talk about $5,000 how many persons would that impact? You understand? That's going to be a problem. You know, you will give to one group and the rest of the people will have issue.
Okay.
And that's why I've been very careful as to what kind of intervention to make at this point. But sitting in the national legislature, and I know I will be in some of the key committees there, I will ensure that some of the resources that go to rural women, helping market women, I will tailor and ensure that district number 5 is captured as a door to other communities where they go and get them 30 million, 40 million. That can have some impact. But taking 1 million from my pocket or my resources, it's not going to have any impact. And so that has been actually my fear.
Let's now go into the legislature where you want to go. What is your political ideology?
Well, I'm a realist. Thankfully, I taught political science. I cut into business-related courses. I'm a realist. I'm not an idealist. Where the idea here, you say, what is wrong, sir, you follow it. What I see real is what I follow in politics. Okay. I want to see an improved district number 5, wherein people cannot ask me as a representative for some of the small things. I need to empower them. And the way I see it, like right now, I come here as a young man. The last 12 years I've been involved with farming. That I have to now even to send my children to school and helping to send other people to school. So I want to have a program in the district that will focus on agriculture. We'll do rice, but then we'll use the Ministry of Agriculture. We'll put resources there on some of the projects. Because the project I passed, my district must be captured in there because our district in our country is part of the cocoa belt. Unfortunately, most of the cocoa programs that are going on are not, Bonkan is not captured. And I think as a legislator with experience in these sectors, and I know the cocoa belt, the map of cocoa in this country, I will ensure that Bonkan is captured in this program. It's part of your agriculture, that's what. Because if the people are able to sell, they're able to get money and they can build.
We haven't asked you about your manifesto. We asked you what is your political ideology.
I'm a realist.
Thank you.
Now,
you are vying for the legislature, vying for a seat in the legislature. What is your understanding about the inner workings of the legislature?
I taught legislative processes academy, so I was teaching government there, right? I taught administrative law, where you're talking about how laws are formulated, how administrative law is regulation, and how statutes, for example, how statutes are done, right, which is the legislative process. How the judicial review, you know, the judiciary, how do they interpret the laws and all those. That's something I was teaching for 4.5 years at Cottington University. Intergovernmental relations and all that. So I taught government at Cottington. So going at the legislature, I have a broad understanding of how bills are even formulated, how they are taken to committee room, how they are brought on the floor, how they are read, how many times, you know, before even a decision is taken based on votes and all the.
What is the function of a legislator?
Of course, there are many functions, but sometimes people just, you know, summarize and say lawmaking, oversight, and representation. You understand? So those come with a lot. Because when they talk about representation, what do you understand about representation? Our people sign social contract with you for 6 years. Everything about them, because somebody says, oh, no, I'm not responsible. Me, the lawmaker, that's not true. And I debate people on that. So when you become a lawmaker, if the people ain't get cleaner, who do they go to? The Minister of Health? No, it's you're supposed to take on the Minister of Health because you got oversight responsibility. So the people probably had, they get the crops are growing. Guess what? Agriculture, blah blah. Who does want to go to? It's you, because you are representing them. You're supposed to take all those stakeholders from the different sectors who are supposed to pay keen attention to them. So when you become a lawmaker, you are like a servant. Okay, you sometimes like a Tom Power where they throw everything on you. You now need to take those things and see how you fix them. So a legislator signs a social contract with people for 6 years, and sometimes some of them complain. But if you look at the regular problems we've had in this country, how do we empower people to take them from just dependency syndrome and so forth? You need to go to the root causes. And I said one is agriculture. If our people got a little cocoa farm, whether it's 3, 4, 5 hectares, they get their oil palm, they get their rubber, they get their coffee and so forth. Those people will not leave their house by 5 o'clock to go ask you for school fees. Until we resolve those problems, our people will keep at our doors early in the morning, and we become like a thing they are coming to embarrass us. So that area is our
James Double South, who is my guest here, is vying for, is it district number 5?
District number 5
in Bon County. Now, you are vying for the legislature, right? You are upbeat, and of course, you've said it on this radio, on this platform, that you're going to win.
Sure.
You're not hoping to win, but you're optimistic that you will. That's good. Now, what is lacking in the current legislature, in the current House of Representatives, that if you and others go there, you're going to ensure that what is bereft in that August body it is corrected?
So we need to take country first. There are some good people at the legislature, but I say this to you, that place is number, right? So if you have 10 persons and 4 of them are good, 6 are bad, they go to take vote, who wins? Majority. Majority. Of course the minority will talk whatever they want to talk about, the majority will take the day. So we have a few group of people there who really think good about Liberia. But there are a lot of people, and that's the education we are giving to our people. When you're electing people, you got to take somebody who's very experienced. So if you make somebody chair, for example, or public corporation, what does that person understand about public corporation? What the role of public corporation and so forth. So if he calls a head of a public corporation, what questions is he going to ask those people? You understand? So it's the experience that you take. So right now, as I sit here and I sit in the development seat of the the Ministry of Finance, working with different sectors or different steering committees. So if you talk about youth and sports, I work with Minister Zoga James on many of the youth projects. Okay, I used to represent Minister Ture. So the whole youth community, I understand what the programs are.
So let me ask you, sir, in another word, you are insinuating that the House of Representatives where you want to go is flooded with a lot of inexperienced people?
Well, I said there are some good people there. I don't want to use any you got your choice of words, but I said there are some good people there. But there are some people there. It's still got
a lot of inexperienced people
there who actually you call them here to make a presentation on why they are in that legislature, and even committees they serve in all. What's your role there? What that sector? They're going to give you absolutely no information.
Do you care to name some of them?
No, absolutely. That's not my area. What do I do that? And that's why I'm a leader now. I'm a national leader. Right.
So when you go there, you and others, we all have to.
We have to fix that.
Okay.
We have to fix that, and then we have to take the interest of our people. Moving this country forward, and that's what you are talking about. Because sometimes when you elect people who they come from zero, which is of course people should not elect people they make money and this that they have for the state and so forth. But sometimes some people who go there, they start from scratch. Sometimes some of them get carried away by when they see their colleagues and some of their colleagues invite them to their homes and this that. They want to amass wealth in a very short period at the expense of their people. That's something that our people need to be careful as to who they elect to that national legislature. Okay. So that we put more resources into helping improve the lives of our people, and that way this country will move forward. I've seen that in several countries. Ghana, for example, in Liberia, our lawmakers, get a lot of benefits. So the fact that you get a lot of benefits, then Ghana, Sierra Leone here, I think lawmakers make around 1,000 or more, there. But so if you get all of that, you get vehicle, you get gasoline and so forth. the resources that are supposed to benefit our people, put a lot of money into health, put a lot of money into agriculture. Agriculture is a key drop right now is the mining sector, but that's not sustainable because we do not determine the price of the extracted commodities that we take to the international market. It's foreigners who decide for us. So if you have the agriculture sector being the key driver for growth, as it is in Uganda, for example, Uganda agriculture plays a major role. Uganda has 162 products that are produced in their country. Just imagine that, and they are exporting it. Do you know how many effects come into their country because of that? So we need to turn the entire agriculture sector around. That's why you need experienced people to that legislature.
So let me hear from you now about your manifesto. What is it you have on your plate that when you are elected for your people, you're going to roll all of that out?
Number one, agriculture. I come from a farming community where you have Kari, so forth. So we will improve the research station Kari. Fortunately for me, I was part of the development of the strategic plan of Kari for the next 5 years. And we're going to ensure we work with national government, what of our money from the World Bank or the African Development Bank put into Kari. That's the only research station we got in our country. They need about 20 million. That's not much. Even if we put it into different trenches, that will help to improve Kari, so they are able to help with extension. And the Ministry of Agriculture has a roadmap now for extension services across the country. That's a couple of $1 million. How do we put the two together, find resources to support agriculture? And I want our people to do not only rice, but they should do cocoa, coffee, and they should do oil palm and rubber. Okay. That's something that I benefit. I'm doing oil palm now. I got rubber going and so forth, and I know how much benefit that brings to me. So I wouldn't go asking people for here. So we want to put our people in the cooperative CDA, give them a document, and we put the money into that district to make it more productive. Not only the education. I want a TVET institution. The fact that my district has the highest number of graduates coming from any other district other than Banga in that county, we need a TVET there. We have the academic institution being supported, like Daily Feju right now. The only high school in Uniquale, public high school. It does not have teacher for, and I hope the Minister of Education listen to me now. No biology teacher, no chemistry teacher, no physics teacher, no trigonometry teacher. So because of that, students are leaving to go to Swago Central High School. Some of them go to Banga. Some of them now. Sometimes people ask, why the Ministry of Education not sending people? Absolutely. It should be the lawmaker during the budget period, put the money in the budget and say, I have put 50,000 for you to recruit teachers in my district. That's what it should be. And we ensure that happens. So the blame doesn't go to the Ministry of Education because they do not produce the budget. The budget is produced by the National
Education. So that's
education or health. We need to improve the health system in our district. All the clinics we have, we need to ensure we have medicine there, and we work with the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Health to see what are the programs they have. How can we strengthen it so that the healthcare delivery system in our district is actually enhanced? Phoebe has been a major issue there. It's the only referral hospital we got in the district, but right now they have some challenges. So how can we, as a son, somebody who was born in Phoebe Hospital, grew up in Phoebe compound, how do we bring the government and Phoebe Hospital together to find a common ground so that support needed, we go to Phoebe Hospital? I will be champion in that. Okay, I will be champion in that. So on the issue of youth, we have the Zogos all around the place. How do we get our young people off from the trenches and so forth? Thank God that the president ensured that the law on illicit drugs and things was passed. Now it's non-beatable, so people will get a friend. The people who are caught are actually going to be taken care of. The law will take its course. But we ensure that these young people are actually given an opportunity. You can go and rehabilitate them and take all the drugs from them, bring them back into programs such as vocational education and so forth, so they are useful again in the society. We need empowerment. I said to you, I will use the Ministry of Commerce. It's giving money to other counties and other districts. Sitting there as a legislator, I will be on some of the key committees. And I show that even the budget committee, I may, based on what the speaker says, be on that committee based on my experience from the Ministry of Finance and so forth, so that money is placed there. So the women in Uniquale, in Tongweya, in Gaye, in Patawi, in Swago Claims are giving money so that they make business, and that money that you're going to pay by in 2-3 months. Okay, so it will help them, so they are able to make ends meet for themselves and their families and so forth. People with disability, I will have a representation of disability people living with who are physically challenged and so forth in my office. So that being physically disabled does not mean you are mentally disabled. How do we provide programs for them? So we said with them, they got a group association in my district. What need do you have? Then look at your needs and see which one we can actually solve. Of course, we will have
got a list of
they are long, but these are the key and the big ticketed items, so to speak. So the winning.
Yeah, manifest is very ambitious.
No, ambitious because I'm an ambitious person.
Okay.
Everybody who knows me, I think big. Everything I did big. When I went to school, I did plenty. So,
which party are you running on?
I am a member of the Coalition for Democratic Change.
Are you running the
No. Okay. I'm a member of the Coalition for Democratic Change. I support the president's re-election. I'm the Secretary General for the Bonfort WIA. I'm running as an independent, but I can tell you, I'm the party candidate because all the partisans of the Coalition for Democratic Change prefers all the partisans prefer me. All the partisans prefer me. The leader, the chiefs.
Why they don't prefer the man that's running the party ticket?
Yeah, but our partisans do that. Our partisans. I am telling you, I'm the Secretary General for the.
Why are they not preferring the man that's running the party ticket?
I'm partisan because I'm more experienced. Okay, they know me well. They think
so the guy running the party ticket is not experienced.
They think I would do better. Okay,
he will not do better.
They think I will do better from my track record. Okay, all my experience everywhere, what I've done in the district. So they prefer me. So if you see the chiefs, what a commissioner, so forth, they are supporting me. Okay, the young people, if you look at the youth leadership, the youth leadership, 80% of them are supporting me. So the party going to vote me. I am a member of the party. It doesn't matter who, again, being on the party ticket doesn't make you be the preferred person. Yeah, CDC, I've had people in, for example, we are in a district, where you have Flomo. Flomo has a CDC. The man where the CDC will support them.
Is that why you trying to from?
No, I'm winning. The CDC will vote for me. They will vote for me. They are behind me. When you
so they prefer you as compared to the
definitely. Okay. They prefer me. When you see anywhere I go, follow my video, you will see the demonstration, you will see that. Or I'm launching my campaign.
Why is the secret behind that?
No, the point is that I don't want to go into what happened. But if they have primary, I'm going to win the primary in my district. I'm going to win the primary. Because they were set to elect me on the party's ticket. Okay? That was clear. But what happened is a statement. I don't want to go there. I support president.
No, the question: what is the secret behind most of the partisans going for you?
Well, I'm a true, not just true, but I am a fighter. Today you have Bon County coming together. We took that charge as a Secretary General for the Bonfort. We are bringing Bon County citizens, like-minded people. We have Augustus Fleming now who chairs the campaign. He was the chairman for the Bonfort. I played a major role. See how our party is lifted. I served as the chairman for the National Patriotic Party in Bon County. While serving there, before coming on the national, when I'm on the executive committee of the National Patriotic Party. But before coming to Bon, before coming to Monrovia, I did a lot for the party to actually bring the party to the public glare to know what we're doing, what our MPP is doing. No, I'm talking about the coalition now. Okay. I'm talking about both the MPP and the coalition. You must say. So today, when you talk about coalition, people, you be talking about Nagwasa out there. Yeah, they have done everything to bring the kind of image the president has now in the county. And so every project, everything I'm doing, I go there and tell them, vote for the president. I'm pushing a real strong message. You see my vehicle outside, you see everything, but the emblem of the president, our party is there. Okay. So I may not be on the ticket saying CDC here, but I'm the party candidate.
Let me get your take quickly. Let me get your take quickly so that I open the lines. We'll be going to election on the 10th of October. That is next Tuesday, just a week from now. I'm sure you've been listening to the media. I've been reading also the papers, listening to the radio stations, and online as well. There are individuals who have begun beating war drums, some threatening the peace that if at all the election is rigged, which we don't know what are they thinking, but they are saying that the country will come to an end. And some are saying that they are former fighters, and so they believe that nothing wrong should happen. What's your take, especially from where we come as a people, as a country, given our history, 16, 15 years of fratricidal war we did have in this country. People talking about what again? Well, what's your take?
It's quite unfortunate. I personally feel so surprised. People will consider as statement will go and make those kind of inflammatory statements. We believe in our judicial system. The judiciary we have today, majority of them were appointed by the former government. The police we have today, they are not George Weah police. They are people who were actually recruited for the last 12 years when George Weah in opposition. The immigration we have today, even the civil service we have today, or the civil servants, when Madasari came and decided to take people who were from Dorotown to Charlottetown to get rid of them, they brought in an idea called downsizing. That was a clever way of get rid of our people. They brought their own people. George Weah came, he said they are Liberians, so let's keep them, let's work with them. And the few persons he brought on board. So these are your people. So you're afraid of going to the ballot. And I say this to you, one candidate went in my district and said, oh, he got a machine that on your food. If people don't vote for him, he will see them, and when you don't vote for me, no one can help you. And
still free.
So it's still free as in the people in district number 5 trying to even use the president name. So when I hear these other people talking this thing, I say, what? Are you serious? And I think it's a disappointment coming from the statement bearer of the major opposition party, But all we want to say to our people, and that based on the statement, that's what happened in Foya. It's so unfortunate, that the lives of people will be lost because somebody wants to get to power. Let's trust our judicial system. If you have issues, the CDC had problem here, they went to court, okay? They decided in 2011 that we'll not go to Sagawa. That's an option. I will not go to court, I will not even go. But when the Liberty Party actually had an issue in 2017, they went to court.
Surely.
They use the judicial system. People have heard me before. If I feel this infringement or I go to find redress in any other whether administrative or the legal process, you use that. But to make these kind of statements, I think it's wrong.
Okay.
And that's why the Liberian people are going to re-elect President George Mano Weah, because he's the only peaceful person I've seen so far among the candidates who are at the forefront running. So he's going to get re-elected on October 10th.
Okay, he's James Double Sow. He's a representative candidate in District number 5 in Bon County. He's been my guest on the SMS. You can put your calls now on 0776-50987. You'll call your 0776-50987, or that's alternative line, or better still 0880-514-096. That's the numbers to call, and you are live on the Super Morning Show. Again, 0880-514-096. This first caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Calling you from District 1.
Go right ahead.
First of all, let me appreciate the honorable incoming honorable whoever want to be representative or president of the republic. Your project can back you up to go and put all your posters. So what you are doing with the raising of that bell, with it begging your district to support you when you become a representative, you will be somebody very important in both countries. Thank you so much.
Many thanks. Let me take this caller. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. This is Jackson David, and I call you from a Banapan resident.
Let's hear from you,
Jack. This morning, I just called to congratulate my incoming lawmaker in advance. The name Double Sow is a household name in District number 5, which I know of. So, Mr. Sow, I wish you all the best come October 10. Thank you.
Many thanks. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning, sir. Quickly.
How you doing there?
I'm okay.
This is Zero West.
Let's hear from you, Steve.
First, let me make a quick correction. CDC as a party has had a primary. To say CDC did not have primary, I'm taking it back. All your either guy has said it all. Okay. When you have the vice president and you do not have the best legislation, it's all messed up. That's why today you see of this country is vigorously campaigning for all citizens on the ticket so that they can be successful. Because the more the opposition in the house is a stumbling block to the CDC government, but especially the opposition or the Waka opposition is completely a stumbling block. So we are praying for all citizens that are riding on the citizen ticket to be successful in the election. Thank you very much.
Many thanks. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Let's hear from you.
Yeah, well, my name is Francis S. Party. We're calling you from Foya, Local County Police Festival.
Okay.
Yes, let me appreciate the studio guests, my incoming honorable. I appreciate you for the words that you are talking and you are motivating us with the sedition. We will not relent. Whatsoever we are encouraging all our sedition to vote for our candidates and those that have been doing well for the district need of the country. Thank you ever so much.
Many thanks. This other caller on this line. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, listen.
Yeah, and good morning to the peace-loving citizens of Liberia, South Kuku, and Alash. This is Daniel Bowman. I do join you from Bahamatan, South District. Yes, I have two questions for your studio guest. So I just want to ask you, sir.
Go ahead.
You serve as a Minister for Economic Management of Finance, and you are seeing that you share on a ministerial budget. And there are a lot of facilities that came to the ministerial budget where farmers cannot even put a hand up in Swago district, and most of them are crying that they were denied. So I just want to know what was your role play in there. And
Okay. Sorry, you made a point of it. Let me take this caller. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, this is Lawrence, and you're called from Swago Bum Campus, district number 5.
Let's hear from you.
Yes, I have two questions quickly for the studio guests. My first question goes like this. I want to know from our South, after the 2017 election, what was the impact in the district, especially for the youth background and the entire district? Then secondly, I want to know if, because from his output just now, he just made us to understand that he is more competent and qualified for the position. And looking at what he said, looking at the CDC government, we have the CDC candidate in the district here, and he is telling us he is the most experienced person. So why Honorable was not the one to go on the CDC ticket and the conduct primary here where Honorable UG called whatever to beat him up in the primary, and now telling us there was no primary contestant in the district.
Okay.
I just want you to clarify that to all the morning.
Many thanks. You made a point already. 0776-540-987 is an alternative line, or better still, 0880-514-096. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, let's hear from you quickly.
My name is Joseph Marconi, and I'm from district number 5.
Okay.
It is very disappointing to hear that even in Jobbertown is a candidate in district number 5, when he was appointed by the government and he never did anything in that district. Then now he is coming by to tell the citizen that he is contesting. What we need to buy for the citizen when you are given the opportunity by the government and he never did nothing. Thank you so much.
Many thanks. Let's see what we can get this other caller. Good morning. Good morning.
my name is Dr. Thomas Olikabasila Jr. I work for Banana City, U.S. District.
Let's hear from you.
Let me say to studio guest, Mr. James Amotaw. The issue is that James Amotaw is not a law about it for the fact that he was one of those ministers that did not identify the mandate of the president. When the president said, Minister Ever appointed Bezos should resign before April 7, he did not resign.
Oh, the guy's off the line and he's off the line. Good morning. Good morning. Just take me 2 more calls and I'll wrap it up. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, let's hear from you.
Yeah, okay. I'm Richard Noah. I call from Mount Barkley. Hello.
Go ahead.
Is it ELBC?
Okay, you are not ready. And let me take this other caller quickly. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. This is Patrick Dennis Jr. joining the conversation on District number 5, Swakuku. I
want to ask a still girl. People say, what will be the reason when you have been pronounced a loser? Will you work with a man who don't have experience in your past? When the citizens are 11 and not make up?
Okay, you heard that. He's taking note. Good morning. Let me take this last caller. Good morning.
Hello, Tonya.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, this is Mark.
Hello?
Yes, that's all.
Yes, go right ahead quickly.
I want to ask the studio here. So for here, they get partner with them. Most of them coming to the party because of the competition. Why they coming to the party? They usually support the CDC. And then they bring candidate with the problem. Why you just support the candidate that you want to the party emblem that you just support on the history of for you?
Okay. Okay, Mama. Okay. Medicines. I'm not taking additional calls anymore. I'm not taking calls. Please, the lines are blinking though, but I'm not going to take calls anymore. Let's hear from you quickly. Respond.
So the first one, I said to him there was no primary in district number 5, and the reason why I ran as independent. George Mora said it on the radio in Bonn. He was clear. He gave Robert Sami the instruction that Robert Sami should take his. So he was trying to score a political goal. You know, the NPB thing I used to be supporting, you know, a side that he was supporting another side. So he thought that was a way of setting political goal and, you know, to score a political goal on me. So we had a primary, we pay, we register and everything to go for the primary the next day. And today, he just said they should just take it. He said on the radio openly. So what I'm saying, you go to bomb, there was another primary. So he just went and allowed me in 3 minutes. He went and asked somebody, he said, no primary, we'll just take the president because that's what Joe Mova said.
Okay. And
Joe Mova, he said that. So being on the party ticket doesn't make you the winner. I'm a partisan, right? I will be a better choice and I will be an asset to the party when I go to that's what I'm going to win. Mm-hmm. That's not the issue. About farmers, okay, so the retrial project, I think the guy had called several times on radio from the Balama area. The people have criteria, that means the criteria said that if you want portion of our money, you must meet certain criteria. They hired Deloitte from Ghana to manage the process. A Deloitte went and saw that you don't have the capacity. I can't do anything about that. He called me and I asked the people, they said the people don't have the capacity. We can put in some of the program where there be plenty, we can give them tools and so forth and see that's okay. But we cannot tell you that we'll take them as business people. No. So you asked several times and I explained this to you and there's the issue again. Support. What kind of support I give you? Brother, I tell you it's true. I have sent so many people to school. I'm telling you, so I go send I got 78 people there. Margaret Kennedy, I got 79. I got Margaret Kennedy, I got 78 people there. I call it Fraser Krika, I got 40 students there. I got students in the Gaia and that of the Vroga Public School now. You understand? I've been helping people to Covington. Right now, that man, you talking in the Batala, the men know, and I shake the baya, and I said there, they're going all over. In 2020 now, I got a town project there. In Vroga is going on there. Boysa will get dedicated. In Taylor Town, in Gwinnett Town, in Gliasiasu, in Bana, in SKT, in Thomas's Farm, in Yayamu. I'm talking about Koyala. You understand? Yamari will giving them support there. You understand? Mota. All these areas, there's a lot of resources that I have put in there, and all in the mean, and everything I work for. When I went the NGO before going to the Ministry of Finance, I made more money than I want to government, but government is service. You understand?
So the last question. The question from the females.
No, but that's what I'm saying. If you had a process, but now I say it's a statement. Right now, I'm already the representative on Tuesday. My people are going to vote for me. So now an issue. I'll be a president. We are me. I'll be supporting the government agenda. That's what it is. You think everybody on the party together?
Okay, let me try to take this guy quickly so he doesn't think that I'm trying to avoid him. Robert Sami, let me try to take him quickly before I close this.
Yeah. So
good morning, Robert. Oh, it seems. Good morning, Robert.
Yeah, good morning, Sobo George. Thanks for the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Double Foul was disqualified because he didn't resign as was instructed by the president.
Okay.
And all those people who are appointed to run and wanting to run a party ticket should resign a particular time. He resigned 7 days to the primary. So that is why we disqualify him. I didn't take any instruction from anybody except for the guidelines that we had to deal with. So he's not saying the truth. He was disqualified, and like he says, so that he was disqualified. He didn't adhere to the instruction of the president.
So he was not allowed to contest. Robert, Let me real. You know, we are all national leaders. And as we move on, this country is with us. Didn't you say to me that you will talk to George Morba and whoever George Morba, no, then rather than I have absolutely all the respect I had, I got a serious issue with you. Rather than absolutely all the respect I have for you for not admitting that you said that to me in the midst of your colleagues.
On the radio, give me change. You speak out loud, I think speak out to respond.
It's not lie. George Morba said it on the radio. Ask Radio Banga.
Okay. I think my you don't finish.
Summer, I'm saying to you, call Uriah Mitchell or Radio Banga and ask him whether George Morba did not say exactly what I said. You understand? So he said that. He said that.
Okay.
So my night issue that I didn't want to open the other debate. It's behind us.
What's your parting comment, please?
My parting comment is we got a Liberia that we got to move forward. And we need more that go forward with truth, right? We need better people at the legislature. So that's why we are going there. Okay. And our people will be electing on October the 10th. We'll come to work for our country. We'll support the agenda of our president, as we've always done, to move this country forward. Okay. So by I said all the things behind me, agenda people are question, all of that, I can never talk about it. So I'm going to change you. That's number 5. On Thursday, we're going to check the place and send the message. Because that we are ready for the election of Tuesday. Thank you so much.
Many thanks for taking time out of the schedule. For his James Double Sao, representative candidate in District 5 in Bonkari. Thanks to Melvin's Smart in the Friday Kabo. Illustrious at working. And also thanks to Dama Farm behind the camera. Summer George is my name. There's no second chance. First impression. Have a pleasant day.
Taking the journey, the road to success, or the something funny. Sometimes you okay level, sometimes you go stormy. But I depend on you to prepare a table for me. I like take me away from this wilderness. Protect me from the things them. Why you said that the key is my space. See how my life was sweet. I'm tired with this bitterness. I must beg this money. I beg you back. I beg you give access. Why you pray for me? Mama pray for me. I'm in the jungle. I want to lay for me. Why you pray for me? Papa pray for me. Oh no, I guide my footsteps in this journey. Why I pray for me. I am growing up. I got useless but awesome. Give me the courage to move on. Can't keep my muscle. I feel it so. I got the right struggle. I don't shine of blessing. I beg you give me double. I take me away from this wilderness. Protect me from the things then. When you say that they give my experience. You see how my life was sweet. I'm tired with this bitterness. I must make this money. I beg you, Baba, I beg you, give access. Boy, I pray for me. Mama, pray for me. I'm in the jungle. I want to make money. Boy, I pray for me. Papa, pray for me. Oh, no,
ELBC Radio 99.9, the radio service of the Liberia Broadcasting System. We broadcast to you from Painesville, Liberia, the west coast of Africa. You just listened to the program, that's the Super Morning Show, your biggest breakfast program on ELBC 99.9. You can join the station tomorrow morning, 6:30 for a brand new edition of the program. Melvin Stewart and Summer George will be here to take you through The time is 5 minutes past 10 o'clock. Very shortly, we'll join uh, our department, that's Musu Salif, to bring you the reading of the public service announcements. That will be followed by more commercials and music for you till 11 o'clock. We'll bring you news on the hour. Following the news, we'll entertain you and running more commercials till 11:45. We'll read you the deaf announcements. 12 o'clock is news summary. 12:15, that's a entertainment for you till 1 o'clock. At 1, it's news on the hour. More entertainment till 2 o'clock. We join our newsroom to bring you news long. God willing, by then, I'll be out of here. If you just joined us, we say good morning to you and welcome to our broadcast. Let's now bring you the reading of the announcements with Musa Salif. Good morning.
Morning, Charles. The Liberian Media for Democratic Initiative, LMDR, will today, Tuesday, October 3, conduct national debate for presidential candidates contesting the October 10 general and presidential elections. It will be held this morning at the Erling Johnson Sirleaf Ministerial Complex in Congo Town. ELBC will bring you a live coverage of the national debate for presidential candidates on radio, television, and online. Marlon Johnson is heading the outside broadcasting. As soon as the debate commences, we will join him for a live broadcast. Once more, the Liberian Media for Democratic Initiative, the LNDR, will today, Tuesday, October 3, conduct national debate for presidential candidates contesting the October 10 elections. It will be held this morning at the Erling Johnson Sirleaf Ministerial Complex in Congo Town. ELBC will bring you a live coverage of the national debate for presidential candidates on radio, television, and online. Marlon Johnson is heading the outside broadcasting. As soon as the debate commences, we will join him for a live coverage. A surveyor has been authorized by Eric P. Meyer and Eltok K. Cooper to resurvey one lot of land in Benjamin Palawulu Estate, Magibi County. The survey will commence at about this time on today, October 3. Adjacent property owners are asked to be present on the site of the survey with the deeds, diagrams, and all the relevant documents to verify the claims to avoid land dispute. This should claim the attention of Abraham Palawulu Benjamin, Administrator, Emmanuel Palawulu, Administrator, Amos Benjamin, Administrator. Others are initials EKF and ATS, FGH, JMK, AZZ, EMJ, and MK. Yapawulo C. Colley, surveyor signed. This is to inform the public that there are a number of voting cards missing ones at the Liberia broadcasting system. Anyone who misplaced or mistakenly dropped the ID card, that is the 2023 election voting ID card, should please come to LBS Business and Marketing Department or ELBC radio station with a valid ID card to go through the missing voting ID cards that are here. The management signed. Again, this is to inform the public that there are a number of missing voting cards at the Liberia broadcasting system. Anyone who mistakenly misplaced or dropped their 2023 election voting ID card should please come to the Business and Marketing Department of the Liberia Broadcasting System or ELBC radio station with a valid ID card to go through the missing voting ID cards that are here. The management signed. The Pomik Cup Deliverance Prayer Ministry, in collaboration with the Church of Liberia, is asking all pastors, bishops, leaders, and believers to pray for Liberia that God will prevail in all areas of the country. Churches are also advised to please spend quality time on Sundays to pray for Liberia. Reverend Helen S. N. Poe signed. By directive of Her Honor, Mighty Tar Chenoweth, Judge 13 Judicial Circuit Court, Magibi County, the Liberia Land Authority has authorized surveyors MacArthur Zebian and Jerry Rowland Geyiku to conduct demarcation survey in favor of the interstate estate of the late Otto Tige as part of the ruling made by the 13th Judicial Circuit Court. The land to be demarcated is 60 acres and 137 acres. The survey takes place on Thursday, October 5 at 10 in the morning. The land is on Disco Hill, Magibi County. Adjacent parties and those concerned are asked to be present with these diagrams, technical representatives, and all the legal documents on the day of the survey to verify the claims. Those concerned are the interstate estate of the late Chief Pei Estate, the Windowing Estate, Pei Town, others are Bolo Town, the Liberia National Police, and all those concerned. Mr. Paul X. Torbert, Assistant Director, Land Dispute Resolution Division, Liberia Land Authority, signed. We are taking this quick break to be right back. Keep tuned to 99.9 FM. Very shortly, we will join you.
ELBC 99.9, the radio service of the Liberia Broadcasting System. We broadcast to you from Painesville, Liberia, the west coast of Africa. Very shortly, we are hoping to join our Passa broadcast crew there at the ministerial complex as soon as all is set and they are ready. We will join the crew. So we apologize for the break in the reading of the announcements. ELBC 99.9, we coming to you from Painesville, Liberia, the west coast of Africa, where we are. Hope you are doing very well this beautiful Tuesday morning. It's a wet morning here in Painesville, and it's the third day of the month of October 2023. Where we are, hope you are doing good, and please keep it on set because there's so much more coming up for you. Stay tuned.
The more them get it, the more them want. Lord no, some will even try to take his father's life, yes, just to achieve a bit. Talking about hard justice, yeah. Gonna let them search the floor. Talking about hard truth. When them get it, still want more.
50 minutes past 10 o'clock on a Tuesday, October 3, 2023. Personally, we will be joining our outside broadcast unit at the ministerial complex to bring you live the presidential debate that is expected to take place today. And this debate is all in preparation for the October 10 elections. In a moment from now, we will join Marlon Johnson and the rest of the crew there in Congo Town at the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Ministerial Complex for the presidential debate. Keep tuned and get all the information coming from that end.
Still want more. Lord, no. Peace. The more them get it, the more them want. Talk about it. Some will even try to take his father's life. Yeah, yes. Just to achieve a bit. Talking about high class. Yeah. Gonna let them search the floor. More and more. Talking about high class. More them get it, and still want more. And now the pressure was away upon his ups and downs. And when I like junkies all over town.
This is ELBC Radio 99.9, the radio service of the Liberia Broadcasting System. We now leave our studio here to join Marlon Johnson and the rest of the crew there at the Ministerial Complex in Congo Town for a live coverage of the presidential debate organized by the Liberian Media for Democratic Initiatives. Marlon, good morning. Good morning, Charles. You are right. The Ministerial Complex is packed with journalists, presidential candidates, and of course their entourage, including the team from the LMDI, that is the Liberian Media for Democratic Initiative, the LMDI. And LMDI presents the local debates program on several radio stations across the country. LMDI was established in October 2011 as a revision of the vision of the Liberian Media Initiative funded in 2007 by John O'Connor. Now, local debate is a platform that brings together politicians vying for elected offices and the public servants to engaged in thought-provoking debates. It runs 5 radio and community outreach programs, all based on democracy, governance, peace building, and development. Well, the panelists are already here seated, and we would like to talk about, the political parties and their standard bearers participating in the national debates today. But first, the national debate today is organized by LMDI with its partners, Internews, ICOB, and other organizations. Well, we have political parties, candidates already seated. Later on, we will go over to talk about them, give you some history about the politicians and their standard bearer, the party, and also talk about some of the panelists. But this debate has already started, so let's go to the podium.
On behalf of the organizing consortium that includes the Edwards Solar Federation, the Liberian Media for Democratic Initiatives, the Center for Media Studies and Peacebuilding, the Association of Liberia Community Radio, the Female Journalists Association of Liberia, Local Voices Liberia, and EDMs. I welcome you to the first of the three presidential debates we have organized for the 2023 elections, today in Monrovia and Friday in Banga. Today marks the combination of many lab days and weeks preparing this presidential debate, and with you, we are looking forward to hearing the candidates speak. As an organizing community of civil society and media organizations, we wish to provide a platform for the candidates to share their visions, policies, and aspirations for the future of Liberia and its citizens. For nearly 2 decades, Liberia has shown that the only way to progress is through democratic processes with and for Liberians. On the 10th of October, we will see the consolidation of these efforts in a new round of presidential, senatorial, and representative elections. Debates such as this, including the nearly 19 other electoral debates that the USLA media activity has been organizing nationwide, will help voters to make informed decisions on how they will choose the candidates that they like at the ballot box. We hope the debate enhance electoral transparency and encourage accountability by creating a public and equal forum for candidates to discuss their platforms, different positions, and have meaningful discussions on issues and will therefore address voters' concerns. In addition, we wish to help promote and prolong peace and reconciliation in tense election environments. We hope the extended engagement with citizens through this type of debate, civic education, and peaceful campaigning by political parties become a permanent fixture of these and future electoral processes. This debate will be broadcast live on television and radio stations nationwide, as well as streamed online on social media to ensure that all Liberians, home and abroad, may follow and engage with the candidates this morning. I wish you successful deliberations. Thank you very much.
Amongst the candidates invited to this debate, we have Joshua Toomer of the New Liberian Party is already seated, and we have Sheikh Kuyate is also seated, and most of them invited are not here. And one of the panelists, Tom Solonto Brown, is already on the podium.
I'm excited to be here today. Okay, can you please clap for the candidates that are present today? Thank you very much. So you have a team of moderators that will be conducting this first presidential debates. And here are your moderators. Leader Flomo is a journalist and media specialist with Equitas Radio, heralding the emancipation of women in all sectors of society. Eva is the current head of Equitas Radio. Eva, can you please wave? Can you please wave to the audience? We also have John O'Connor. He's the director of the Liberia Media for Democratic Initiatives, LMDI. He is a journalist, human rights activist, a prolific lead moderator of public forums and debates. John, can you please go to the audience? We also have Frank Sibola Jr. He is the managing editor of the Public Trust Media Group, a lecturer of journalism at the Department of Media Studies at the University of Liberia. He formerly worked with the Liberia Broadcasting System. Frank, can you please greet the audience? And your humble servant is Toward Solanta Brown, a media development expert with more than 30 years of experience in journalism and broadcasting. She's the current senior journalism trainer at Internews. And unfortunately, we would have been 5. Clarence Jackson, the station manager of OKFM, would have been here with us today, but unfortunately, he had an unfortunate situation. So these are your moderators. Can you please give them a round of applause?
One of the moderators, Dawon Solanted.
Sorry for
Brown.
Clarence. His son actually got killed in an unfortunate communal sort of violence. All right, so this morning, there are a couple of organizations working to make this happen. Dr. Amos Sawyer used to be a former interim president of Liberia. He passed, but to keep awake his dream, he has a foundation headed by his son, Franz Sawyer, who has joined us. Franz will actually give us an overview today of partnership and debate along this line. Thank you, Franz.
So Frank walks up to the podium dressed in white, looks just like his late father.
Distinguished presidential aspirant, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. Before I give an overview of this important presidential debate, I'd like for us to take a moment of silence to reflect on the loss of our citizens in Foya, and also reflect on the life of Mr. Jackson's son. Last but not least, let us reflect on the life of Professor Amos Claudia Sawyer. Fellow Liberians, distinguished guests, welcome to the first of 2 presidential debates, sponsored by Internews in collaboration with a series of other foundation and civil society organizations. These debates would leverage massive national media coverage involving networks of radio stations and a chain of social media platforms, which will be live cast on, I believe, all 15 counties in our beloved country. These debates are moderated by our esteemed journalists, which they bring to the table vast knowledge in the core topics that are going to be discussed, which are the economy, health, education, rule of law, peace and security, among others. Candidates will have 3 minutes allocated to respond to additional 2 minutes for follow-ups. What is very important is the questions asked have been well researched members of our consultant. There will be questions from you, our audience, and our audience virtually. Lastly, each candidate will have 5 minutes of closing statement. In closing, welcome to these debates, and let us strive as a nation to have these debates permanently required in our electoral process. And let us also consider to do a deep dive in campaign finance and their reforms. Thank you so much.
The son of the late Dr. Sawyer, Frank Sawyer.
All right, so straight into business. Ground rules. Number 1, segments of debate. A, these candidates will be given 3 minutes each to do an open statement, and the open statement timeline will be on this board. And when you hear, we will call, for example, candidate Bessler, who is not here, Yanti, and actually ask candidate Yanti to make a comment for probably 1 second to 5. And she will begin speaking, and the time will roll with an end sound that should stop the speaker. This is what you hear. Thank you. When that happens, you have to start talking. If you can't stop, we will stop you. We have enough control. First, the whole would last. Second, we have control over cutting you off, and you will not get hurt. It's as simple as that. And if they do, why vote for somebody who doesn't live by rule? And so, segment 2 will be about them. Actually, segment 2 is trending issues that affect Liberia, the topical issues of the day, actually, and we will bring that to you. First, they will be read by our moderator, Torwan, following which they will have a rollout by 2 of our moderators. Segment 3 is when they actually grill each other. They will come here and face each other directly in what we call inter-candidates questions and answers. And so the 2 come here. Once you raise your hand and say, I got a question for Brown, then Brown has to come and face you. So 2 questions in that segment and 1 rebuttal. The 4th segment will be when we throw them out to you, the people in this audience. You actually will engage them in questions and answers, in suggestions for good governance, anything you've got to contribute. The 5th is parting comments, 1 minute each for departure. The 6th, ceremonially, is simply recession out of this hall. Just as they came in, they will go back again. Simple. Conversational, nothing personal attacks here. So the other rules are no rules clapping here. You don't get it from anywhere and start clapping. No, round of applause. You have to be instructed by us at intervals of this debate. We ask everybody to give a hand applause to everybody. So Bendu doesn't, Mrs. Kumar doesn't say something that excites you or support her, and you jump up and start singing. No, we will not allow that. So we will clap together at intervals of the debate. No booing or jeering, absolutely none. Nobody will be allowed to boo anybody here or jeer at people. Now, If you do that, we ask you out. Everybody is saying something important as far as we are concerned. We need to do. Unrecognized questions. You don't jump up from anywhere. Together we are agreeing on these ground rules. And they say, oh, I want to ask somebody. No. There will come time for that, and we'll recognize you. Yes, go on. Yes, go on. And you will move to the mics, which are in the field. Don't come here. There are mics waiting for you in the field. Concision and presentation. You will ask questions or say something. Candidates, don't waste time. There's no consideration in our timing, because that's for the debate. This thing, once it goes, we don't care. You have to sit down. So when you get there, say what you have to say and quickly, so you get out. Yep. So we were mentioning the timeline. This board controls us like you had. Profanity, none. Nobody should insult anybody here. Will not allow you. We will stop you. Insult will not give you power. Votes will give you power. I'm sure you don't insult when you go to campaign. Personal attacks, no. There's a tendency for people to attack. How many children Mrs. Cromer has nothing to do with this. How many schools she will help build in this country will matter. Not her personality. The big one, alcohol here. If you find alcohol here, get out. If it's in you, be sober. Or we'll make you sober. Right? Having said that, Mrs. Torrance Solomon Brown will now bring you our thematic topics of the day.
John, colleague of LMDI with the ground rules here for today's debate.
So, we have 11 issues, thematic issues, that will be addressed by the candidates today. And interviews with support from USAID through our partners and radio stations around the country, has conducted research in all of the 73 districts of Liberia. And the issues that have been compiled to form part of the discussion today are training issues that people have been talking about. And so here are the issues. Education is one of them. Agriculture and food security. Health, infrastructure, foreign policy, the rule of law, the economy, peace and reconciliation, youth empowerment, corruption, gender and inclusion. So these are the thematic issues that the candidates will be addressing themselves to. So at this time, I would like to call on the podium Eva. Okay, thank you very much.
All right, that will come later, but next, now, opening statement. Self-introduction. And we will go alphabetically by the name. And today, Alan Brown is number one. Alan will return from that board if you like for visibility. You may stand if you wish to stay where you are. But please make sure Alan can see that. Where is that 3 minutes?
Alan
Actually, 3 minutes.
Brown Jr. is from the Liberian Restoration Park.
And it will be done as needed. All right. So, I'm going to say something before that. We want to make sure we get a fair play. So, you can wait for people and tell them hello after that.
Okay, my name is Alan Brown. I'm with the Liberian Restoration Party.
I can stop right there. And then we'll time you now. So, Alan Brown, candidate for president will have 3 minutes of self-introduction. Then open statement. Thank you.
Thank you. Start now. Okay, so Liberia Restoration Party, we are a faith-based movement to restore the nation to God. I believe that a candidate can be deeply spiritual and intensely practical. So let's get into some practicalities. The price of a cup of rice in the market today is about $100, $50 LD. It used to be $20, $15. Look at a pile of pepper. It's $100. It used to be $20. The point I'm making is that these are exorbitant prices for the average person. Too high. What I'll be immediately doing if I'm elected will be to call the importers of petroleum and the importers of rice. Make a deal with them to reduce those prices and keep those prices reduced until the economy picks up. The next thing I'll be looking at is transportation. People wake up in the morning when it's dark. You got to get on the road to get to work. They go home when it's dark. It's a problem. I will be dealing with the transporters internationally to come and bring the buses to at least try to alleviate that. Next thing I'm looking at is infrastructure, immediate infrastructure. We got bottlenecks, traffic. People take 2 hours getting to work, 2 hours going back from work. Problem. So I'll be very much looking at the bottleneck places. You're talking about red light junction. Got to have overhead jackknives. We're talking about Super Road junction, overhead jackknife. We're talking about ELBC junction, overhead jackknives to the school flow of traffic. You're talking then from there. We're talking also about Garnersville, the Freeport, and then you're talking about that Dwala market. Yes, we need to make sure that people have time to spend time with their family, enough time to spend time with their families. They take 2 hours to go to work, another 2 hours to come to work. Come from work. That's a problem I'll deal with. I will deal with that by putting money into infrastructure. And then we're talking about the rule of law. Nothing can happen without the rule of law. We know that. Competent judges that have integrity, judges that have compassion. And then there are 2 committees. One is the Judicial Inquiry Commission for Judges, and what I will be doing is strengthening that committee. So if there's any sort of misrule by the judges, we can deal with it. Then there is the Grievance and Ethics Committee for lawyers, strengthen them. And the reason for that is so that they can deal with any misrule and we can start dealing with the money. There is a relationship between
it's time to
Thank you, Mr. Brown. He will do a lot of good in getting poor people revived. Did that make sense to you? October 10th. Thank you very much. Next, actually, should be Joseph M. Boakai, ambassador, and candidate for president. He's not here. Alexander Kuno should be here. He's not here. Simeon C.M. Freeman should be on his way. He's not here yet. He will forfeit this segment because he will not have allowed in time. Musani Kamara is not. Bendu Alema Kuruma is next, and our engineers tell us it's good to use the podium if you want to get everybody that will see you clearly. Next, as of now, thank you. Please, tell Liberia who you are, why you want to be on what you do.
She is an independent candidate. She walks to the podium.
Hello, my fellow Liberians and distinguished ladies and gentlemen in this hall. First and foremost, another gentleman have mentioned Dr. Sawyer, for whom this thing is named. But my name is Benu Elema Kuma. I'm fortunate to have been a student for Dr. Sawyer. But before I go forward, a very control of our country. The immediate first, we do all that as well. So it's about time that we come back to power, and therefore what Ellen Johnson study built on. From a people for each and every one of you, locally and internationally, to come together. For to be together and support women. Women play an essential role. We have 50% of the population. We have played a critical role domestically and internationally. Let's come together and rebuild Liberia. My topics platform include infrastructure, building better roads, healthcare, making sure that our people don't leave here and go to Ghana, Sierra Leone, or whatever for health treatment. We build JFK in our healthcare. As a child, I worked at JFK. As a vacation student, it was very, very, very good. People all over used to come and do their eye surgery. There was a brilliant doctor called Dr. Traub. So we can bring all of those back. There was also a German doctor called Dr. Dissidender. As a Dissidender, did my crown in my teeth. Believe it or not, it is still there, and I'm not going to tell you my age. Okay, and on top of that, we have education. Our education system is broken. We need good teachers, like Dr. Amos Sawyer, who taught me social science 201, and many other great teachers. We also need healthcare, infrastructure, and taking care of our youth. The other day, members of the ruling party were passing around saying, we want more kush. Kush is a drug that destroys the children. So we don't need somebody passing on the streets of Monrovia and singing to our children, we want more kush. That in itself is detrimental, and that needs not be done ever again. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I have a lot more. I'll stop here for now.
And the independent candidate made good use of her time.
Thank you. After Mrs. Akroba, who is very, very concerned with women and health care, it should be Richard C. Miller. And Richard is here indeed. Richard C. Miller is our candidate for president, approaching the podium.
And he's from the Iberians
Miller,
for
that
Prosperity Party, LFP.
controller. So look at it keenly as you speak. Thank you for 3 minutes.
Good morning to all of you. I want to thank the consultant, ladies and gentlemen, everybody that are here for this debate. Throughout this campaign, even before this campaign, I've been struck about the frustration of ordinary people, young people who are on the streets selling, because the theme that I always hear from young people, why is it that you're on the street? And when you tell me that things are running from the street. So now you're risking your lives, running across the streets, in order to make a meet for their families. High unemployment, rising costs of food, transportation, fuel are fueling this frustration. This election offers an opportunity to change the direction of our country, to transform that frustration into a prosperous future. Nearly 28 years of business experience. I've worked for various Fortune 500 companies in the United States. I've worked also as a environmental professional. So I have a dual role. I have an MBA When it comes to the economy, I understand. As an entrepreneur, I know because I have employees that work for me. So I have to make sure that people can provide for their families. I'm running for president because I have the experience to improve our economy and to ensure that the voices of the Liberian people are heard. That's my commitment. If you vote for me, it's important this election for us to move ahead in terms of what is important. Democracy, and there's so many pillars that are important for us. Thank you so much for your time.